Today we're going to do some SpongeBob themed Crocs. So you're going to need your patches, your Croc charms, pearl rhinestones, regular rhinestones, a nail file, electric nail file, and plastic buttons, a rhinestone glue, a rhinestone chain, and a wax pen. First, we're going to sand our Crocs with the electric nail file. This part is so important because if not, the rhinestones, the patches, and the charms will come off. So I'm just sanding. I make sure I do this thoroughly. And after you're done sanding, you're going to go ahead and wipe down with a Lysol wipe. Next, I'm going to place my charms and my patches. I'm going to start with the patches. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do exactly. And then to make it even better, you're going to add the plastic buttons so that it stays down. You're going to glue the back of the patch. And I also glued the space where the patch was going to go for extra protection, because you just never know. This is my first time, so I'm trying to go the extra mile. And then when you place your patch, you're going to place it down with some rubber bands so that it stays in place while the glue dries. I recommend using a couple of rubber bands just to be safe, because it did slide and move and you want it to stay in one place. So I put my patches down, and I had to add a clip to this one because I just needed that extra protection. Once I let the glue dry, I went ahead and removed my rubber bands and began to place my rhinestone chain around the Crocs. What you're going to do is measure it out first and then cut as needed. And here's how it turned out. You definitely need to let these dry before you can move to the next step in bedazzling your Crocs. So once again, I'm just measuring and then cutting the chain as I need it, and then adding glue and then applying the chain to the Crocs. Once this is dry, I'm going to begin placing my charms. I did change them out a lot because I wasn't sure how I wanted the placement. So I'm just picking what I feel is best. I also did make a lot of changes throughout the video with the charms. It was something about the placement for me, but you could just place it however you want your Crocs to be. But I definitely did go and make a couple of changes. Just make sure they're placed the way that you want them to be on your Crocs. Again, this is just the placement I preferred. Some of these I did go and sand and remove the Croc backing to them, just so I could add it in those like little spaces on the side. So here I'm just going to show you how I use the Croc charm and removed it and sanded it to the place that I wanted it to be. I used scissors to cut it, and once I cut that backing part off, I went and sanded it down a little bit. I used the plastic button to fill the hole. The hole was kind of like off, so that's why I decided to remove the button from off the back of this Croc charm, and I'm just sanding it down, and then I'm going to glue it down just so it stays in the place that I want it to be. And you want to make sure you add enough glue. And once you do that, you just place it and make sure that you hold it down with like rubber bands so that it dries and it sets in place. So next I'm going to add that rhinestone chain to kind of divide my different rhinestones. So I'm using a pen for the markings, and of course I'm going to go in and measure and cut the rhinestone chain to fit those markings. I did this because I wanted to have like the regular rhinestones separate from the pearly rhinestones, and I think they look so much better when it's like two different rhinestones mixed together. So that's what I'm just doing here. I'm just measuring the little squiggle lines that I use with a pen, and I'm going to cover those squiggle lines with the rhinestone chain. And here is my favorite part. It is the rhinestoning. For this particular project, I had to do the scattered method where you just place random rhinestones onto the Crocs and you just kind of wing it. I think it looks so much better with the scattered method. I wouldn't recommend doing any honeycomb method only because this is just, everything is just so random. Don't be overwhelmed, but the scattered method does take a little bit longer than the honeycomb method, but let me tell you, the results are worth it. Like, just take your time and have fun with this. So you're going to see me apply the regular yellow rhinestones, and then I'm going to apply the pearly mix after. I'm just making sure that I have it nice and full. I'm placing rhinestones that fit in those small spaces or to fill it to give it that full effect. And yeah. Okay, and then next I'm going to go ahead and do the pearl mixed rhinestones. I realized that I didn't want to use orange rhinestones for this project, so I would recommend getting the regular solid color yellow pearl rhinestones. I did use some of the white pearl rhinestones in here, but if you don't want the mixed rhinestones, just go ahead and just get the solid colored ones. I took a lot of time just finding the yellow pearly rhinestones, and I really regret it because I don't know, I just wasn't feeling the orange. But here I'm just doing the scatter method again. I'm placing the rhinestones randomly by sizes, and I'm also trying to pick out mainly white and yellow pearly rhinestones. But yeah, this is just about it for this part. I'm just placing the rhinestones in the scatter method. And also remember to use enough glue because some of the bigger rhinestones needed more glue. So that's just a pro tip, to use enough glue. And this is the final product. I think it came out so good. Again, this was my first time, so if I can do it, you can definitely do it. And you can see I changed a couple of the croc charms, but my daughter loves it. Once again, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.